Alright guys, it's kind of loud because I got the heater going, but I had a fantastic idea. I was thinking about it, right? I'm taking this truck motor out. I'm taking it out and I'm putting this VR6 in there. So this motor does not matter at all. And I got to thinking, I have an extra turbo that was on my Jetta with the old setup. It's a Turbonetics and it's like a 40 millimeter maybe. It's pretty small. But I'm thinking of putting it on this motor and seeing what happens. This exhaust down here, it just kind of S's down. Well, I think if I cut that off right down there, turn it the other way, I can get it to come up through this way, and then I can mount the turbo like right here. And this is what I got so far. So this, kind of tough to get down in there. So this essentially is going to mount like this. This pipe is going to come up, and I need another 90. Let's see, that'll set there. So I'm going to have another 90 that comes up and off of this. And then I'm going to have a turbo flange right here. And the turbo is going to mount somewhere right in this area. And then I'm going to have the charge pipe coming over. And I'm going to make a little top hat and just feed it straight into the top of the carburetor. I think it'll work. We're going to find out. I mean, I don't plan on pushing a ton of boost. Maybe like 5 PSI. Just enough to have fun with, you know. So yeah, we're gonna pick back up where I left off and finish this piping. I don't have a T3 flange and I don't feel like waiting for one. So I snatched this piece of steel from work and I faced both ends of it so it's flat on both sides. And I believe it is 5/8 of an inch thick. It's just a piece of cold rolled steel. I am gonna make a flange to mount this turbo onto the truck. Alright guys, so I've been hole sawing for the last probably 5 minutes. I just broke through and got the hole drilled in the center of the flange that I just made. Flange is made, I'm going to weld it on the exhaust now, and I'm going to finish welding that right there because that's just tacked on. Alright guys, I got the turbo mounted. Don't judge my welds. But here's the, I guess you can call this an up pipe. It's 90 in back to the flange that I just made. Flange is working great. I haven't fully welded it yet. I don't know if you can see that. There's just a little tack right there. So it's just tacked on. I'm definitely going to have to make a mount to hold this turbo in place because it's the only thing holding this is there's 2 bolts way back there that hold the exhaust on. And there's just nothing holding the turbo out here. So I think I'm going to go from one of these backside bolts down to maybe the valve cover bolt right here. So then that way the whole thing torques, you know, with the engine. But yeah, I'll probably just either go to that or maybe this one here. Or even maybe an exhaust stud down there. You can't really see it. It's too dark. But yeah, turbo is mounted. Right now I'm going to tackle this bracket for the turbo because you can see it's kind of flimsy. So I'm just going to mount this right down here with one of the valve cover bolts. I'm just coming straight up and I'm going to cut a 90-degree angle on this. And it's basically going to just go straight over to this flange over here. If you can see where my finger's pointing. So I'm going to do that real quick. And then after I'm done with that, I'm going to start making the top hat. I just got some sheet aluminum that I'm going to cut up and bend into a circle. And you'll see. Alright, so I got this bracket all done and welded up. Don't judge my welds. I'm using the MIG and I'm just kind of going for it. You can tell this mount is solid. It is not going anywhere. I'm going to mount the turbo now and start making the top hat to the carburetor. So here's the sheet of aluminum I got. I got it sitting in the yard. I'm going to mark what I need to cut out and cut it. This Sharpie sucks. So this stuff is pretty much flimsy enough to where I can bend it. Just kind of form it around the shape it needs to be. Of course this thing isn't going to be perfect, but it'll be close enough. I actually messed up. I was using this little brass hammer. To try and form the piece a little better. And I ended up busting this little tiny piece off of the carburetor. It goes right here, which kind of sucks because there's a hole underneath that. I'm gonna have to fill that in with JB weld or something so no boost leaks out of the carburetor. Also, there's a little hole right where this choke is, you know, so the slide mechanism can work. I plan on just putting some silicone in there just to kind of seal the hole off. So I just got the spool gun set up on the machine. I still have to cut out a lid, or just a round piece that fits over this on that big sheet we were cutting on before. But I'm just going to tack this together. Also, I like to wipe the welding surface down that we're going to be welding with acetone. Acetone just cleans and preps the surface before welding on it, and it helps the weld out a lot actually. So I got a little tack here. I'm just going to leave it tacked until I got the top piece on and I know everything lines up. Because I don't want to weld this all the way and then realize something isn't right. So I got my template traced out. So I'm going to use this shear right here to cut out this circle. That's really the only way I have to do it. So we're going to get into it. So I got the circle cut out. It's kind of rough around the edge, but it's going to be welded anyways, so it's not really going to matter. I need to drill a through hole for this stud right here. Basically going to look something along those lines. And then I'll have a 2-inch hole cut right here and have from the turbo and just have like pretty much a 90-degree bend straight to this. So I got a couple tacks holding the lid on, and I got a tack holding the around the perimeter of it. So it's all tacked up. I'm gonna take this off and fully weld it all the way around. So I finished welding this up. We're not gonna get too close to my welds because they are not great. Welding aluminum absolutely sucks. It is so hard to get it just right. You have to have the surfaces super cleaned and nice and prepped. Just that bead right along here. That's the one that turned out the best. Well, it's already welded. I'm going to put it back on the truck and fab up the charge pipe from the turbo into the carb. So right here I just got the hole drilled. And then I got this little 2-inch piece of pipe. I'm gonna weld this in, and then this whole plenum should be about done. So I got this 2-inch piece welded on. It's pretty much all splattered, but it's welded. I also welded the backside, so this thing is not going anywhere. This thing does seal. Okay, this thing is full of water. I'm holding my hand over this to cap it off. I'm holding my hand on the center hole, my finger, and there is nothing leaking off of this thing. There's a little bit dripping off right by my hand, but this thing is watertight. Alright, so I got this on and tight. I put a bead of silicone around it to seal it, and I kind of ran into a problem. I don't have a long enough elbow. I ordered one on Amazon and it'll be here tomorrow, but you get the idea what it's supposed to be like. Intake plenum is done. I need one silicone elbow. I need to make the muffler coming off the exhaust and up. I need a oil feed and oil drain for the turbo. So there's a few more things I need to do. It's getting late. I'm gonna call it a night. I'm gonna wrap up this video. This is gonna be part 1 of boosted Datsun truck. Part 2 will be out soon. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later.